Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This is my presentation. I'm happy to be here, happy that you are all be here because this is the last talk of the session of the conference. So I'm encouraged in seeing you here. So what I'm going to talk is about agile production of high quality open data. This is a joint work with, my name is Vittorio Scarano. This is joint work with Renato De Donato, Giuseppina Palmieri, Donato Pirozzi and Luca Vici-Domini from University of Salerno. We are scientists, and with two important actors, I'll come to that in the conclusions, from the Regional Council of Campania, Giuseppe Ferretti and Antonio Marciano, that have collaborated throughout this work. This is what we are going to talk, actually 3 steps plus the conclusion, and let's start with the quality problem. So what is the problem of quality? It's the Holy Grail. This is something that usually is said. The more you provide open data, the more transparent and accountable you are. This comes also from strategies like openness by default. Of course, this is not true. I mean, not very often, because actually many barriers are identified. This is recurring in literature and in papers, and this is a recurring word under any latitude, longitude, context, type of public administrations. So just publishing open data is not enough. What are the perceived barriers for use and adoption? I have a diagram that was taken by one of the deliverables that we are working in our European project Routopia, where this research has been conducted. As you can see, what is the main barrier that is perceived is the quality of data, poor data quality. And everything is pointing to low quality. So Open Data Barometers is saying there is a low quality, citizen surveys, European data portal, and of course the academic literature I told you about. So what is our proposal here? I mean, what we are going to talk is about agile production of open data. We are going to show you how agile methodologies that are so popular in software technologies can be useful also in production in open data. Present an example, present a platform that actually adopts and offers these agile methodologies, and show how they are being currently used in Campania region. So, as I told you, this is a borrowed concept that is known to offer clear advantages. Agile software methodology is based on an iterative incremental evolutionary approach, where software is developed in short iterations, and you release often in such a way that everybody can test the software and provide feedback about that. The focus is actually on the quality achieved through repeated tests performed at each iteration. So actually you iterate, you release, you test with the real users, and you come back with their feedback on what is the next iteration. So our methodology is designed in the same way. So we are presenting a production cycle where actually we have an iterative, incremental and evolutionary approach, where multiple short iterations are performed, and at each iteration the dataset is improved in collaboration, is thoroughly tested, and I will come in a minute to what we mean by testing a dataset, and jointly discussed. So in a sense, what we are trying to do is to offer an environment that is able to accommodate the evolution of a dataset, both in content and in quality. Our methodology is test-driven, so the goal is produce something that can be reused. Because actually the point is we produce data sets and we often don't know how they are going to be used and how they are going to be visualized. And so our tool is meant to try to support a public administration servant that is trying to imagine and anticipate possible uses of the data sets. And it is crucial being able to do what we call the fit for use testing. So is this data set usable for something? Is it showing some information? Can we show some information from the data set? Is it missing something? So now I come to our proposal. Our methodology is a cyclic methodology, so it has several phases. We start with inception, then we have a plan, a co-creation, a test, fit for use phase, a discussion, and then you go back until you are ready to publish what you have designed. Let's start from the let's start from the inception phase. Inception is something that is critical. I'll come back to that in the conclusions. So there must be some political willingness to pursue this path. So to say, yes, we want to produce open data of quality, not just because law tells us to do it, not just because we are forced, but because we want to produce something that is usable. Of course, there are several issues to be tackled, legal issues, privacy, what is the impact that is expected from releases. Then we enter into the cycle, and the cycle, then you have some technological plan, organizational plan, so the involvement of departments. One of the big issues is trying to avoid the silos approach, so something that is strictly compartmentalized into silos. It is important that here that we can support collaborative phases between different authors or different departments at once in the same environment. When we have done this co-creation, we want to go to the fit-to-use testing. So the idea is how can the data be used? What is useful for? What kind of information can we take out from this data? And actually, what we are doing is actually using as a proxy for correctness, for high quality, the visualization. So if we can easily visualize a data set, then it is usable because it's showing some information. So the table is hiding information, and I'm pinching and taking out the information into a visualization. And so actually the idea is that visualization can also simulate more data into the to be added into the data set. And then, of course, you should discuss. I mean, the production is a process that involves several figures at once. So actually, you have several public administration employees, and you want to enlarge the discussion with other people from different departments with the same functions in order to stimulate comments and get feedback on that. When you have iterated in this cycle, then you can publish the data. And publishing is still a very important part because you can do the publishing with the series of syntactical checking that guide and scaffold the author in providing the data into the open data repository. Among some of the things that we do believe they are very important is actually correct and complete metadata. I mean, metadata are, of course, the way we can understand almost semi-automatically what the data set is about, but also some methodological notes. There are some information that should be provided semi-automatically, so I'm not talking about something that is either totally manual or totally automatic, but supported by the platform in order to say what is this data set for? I mean, who are the authors? What is the process that was followed? And this is something that we can help in building into these methodological notes. So what we built, we have developed a social platform for open data, and in our project, is a European project, Route to PA, the social platform was initially meant and is being used and widely deployed for making citizens interact around open data and actually co-create open data. And we have several success stories. One of those was told yesterday in a paper about Hathor and the cultural heritage. But in this case, we are using this social platform within the organization, within the public administration, to support the creation of open data of high quality. And so we begin with collaboration. This is the collaboration we mean. It's a very wide, several actors. And we are trying to encourage to follow a process where actually you get open data at the bottom, so the data set, and you can get information, and from the information you can build knowledge. Our platform is meant to address this kind of operations. So we have a platform that has a CCAN enriched set at the bottom as delivery of the data sets, a middle layer that is able to make users to discuss and create and visualize open data, and a top layer that is able to present. Is a content management system that allows to do that. And this is actually the diagram that we are going to use in our architecture. So we have a data layer, a collaborative layer, and a presentation layer. I'm not going into details about this architecture because what I wanted to show you is the interpretation of this architecture when we go within a public administration, and they need to be able to produce open data of high quality. So the idea is take the collaborative layer, place it internally in an intranet, so that the user, the public servants, the employees can use the collaboration to produce high quality open data that can be published, that can be presented in the open way into the architecture. So this is the social platform for open data. It's called SPOD. It's a traditional social platform, and it has an ecosystem of datalets that are reusable components for visualizing open data that you can easily take a copy and paste from the site into any HTML page, and it works. You have rooms for discussions, and you have co-creation rooms. These are the important key issues. So rooms where you can invite people and say, hey, let's build this data set together, and you are supported by very useful instruments. You can also have blogs. This is social. This is the interface. It's a traditional, Facebook-like or Twitter-like. So you can write your status. You have the Agora that is full of rooms where you can discuss, and you can discuss. You can discuss by using reusable visualization of data. This is actually a datalet. So it is a web component. It's written with Polymer, and it can be embedded in any website. And in order to build this datalet, it is an easy 3 steps process that everybody, every citizen, and every employee as well can do. As an example here, I can build this datalet by selecting a datasets. Below there is the URL that allows you to access the dataset. You can select what are the columns that you want to draw, and you can select in the third step what kind of drawing you want. And so you end up with a map that is built at runtime, and you can publish it onto the spot. So this is a datalet. This is a real-time live map of the dataset that was available on the site. But let's come to the important part, the co-creation room. The co-creation room is a shared spreadsheet. If you think about Google Sheets or something like that, this is exactly the same, unless that we are not Google, so it's not as good. But I mean, I would say that it has the same functions. So you can share it with the users. You can see on top of the row here, the users that can work, and you can build datalets on the right that are dynamically updated with the content of the dataset on the left that you are building. So as you build the dataset, the datalets, the visualization changes. So if you make mistakes, and this is actually the key to the agile development, you see the mistake right away. If you are placing points in a map and you write a wrong coordinate, then the point appears to be in the sea. And if you are, drawing a map of schools, then probably there is no school in the sea. So, I mean, there is a mistake in the map. So our system is, there is a nice way of model it through system dynamics. And I think there is somebody in the audience that knows about system dynamics, because actually this is a way that we can open government information and create public value. This is an example of the fit to use testing. Here I have on the left a real case. The public servants are writing some data set, and by mistake, instead of writing a positive number, they write a negative number. And of course, it is immediately seen. And if you do similar mistakes like writing huge numbers, then you see that all the diagrams does not appear in scale, and so you understand there is something wrong. We can check, for example, syntax. Inducing the syntax from the content. So it is important. We do not have a database. We do not have data types, but we infer the data types from the content, and we say, hey, it looks like this column all has all the values in these columns are all integers. So if there is no integer, I'm pointing to the writer, to the author. Maybe this is correct because you want to write 1 or 2. You want to write something, but be aware that this is not usable because you cannot draw a diagram when one of the values is 1 or 2 or more than 100 or something like that. So this makes the dataset less usable. Of course, the similar checking is done importing from CSV. So if we import from dirty comma-separated values files, then we do all kind of checking, and it helps actually in closing the loop of producing data. So you produce data, you import data, you export data, you re-import it, and you can improve your data iteratively into this process. So let me go to the conclusions. I just want to tell you a few things about the project. It's a European H2020 project that was just finished yesterday. So I'm actually out of the loop, out of the hook. So it's good because I was a coordinator. I'm a happy person now. But it was a very nice endeavor. It was tough. It was a joint endeavor of research and innovation. We had several pilots in several countries, and the experience we can report here in this paper is directly generated by the tools and methodologies that we have got from the projects, and some final comments are needed. Our experience was extremely fruitful because we interacted with a very motivated public administration. So the Council of Campania region was really motivated in opening up the data in a true effective way. So not just because they must do it and because there should be a section on their website that says, okay, we are open here. No, but something that does really matter and has really an impact. And actually, in a sense, our approach was agile, because we were continuously deploying data, new versions of the software to their employees. They were using it and reporting to us, look, this is working, this is okay, this is not okay, and it may be better if it was designed in this way. So from this kind of feedback, we both gained a lot. I must say that it is fundamental to be involved, that there is involvement of both the technological and the political arms of the public administration. So it is important. This is actually what happened from the council, and in fact, the two persons are, one is the ICT leader, and the other one is a councillor in the region, is a questore. Now. This work is going ahead with the region governments, where they have designed a very nice organizational structure. So in order to fight the silos approach, the silos problem, they've devoted a team of open data experts within the administration that will jointly put all the silos together. Finally, the project is over, but the platform is available and will be for the next 2 years at least. All the partners have committed to it. If you go to www.route2pa.eu, you will find information about the working group. Not today, because I'm not. I'm still here, so we haven't done that. But from Monday, when I'll come back, go there and you will find information about the working group. Because now you'll find information about the project. The spot is available for free. You can try it. You can just register. And the idea is that in the next 2 years, communities, not for profit, that want to use it for interaction and for producing open data and storing open data can use our platform. So this is actually offered for free, and you can contact me at this address or through the website. And in general, our working group is available for collaborations with other public administration. We think that we have realized something that is a piece of working software, well designed, well documented. I must say that I say it twice, very well documented, so this is important. And it is a free open source software. It is based on a very sound methodology, and it is on GitHub. So you can see actually in real time what we are developing. So we develop there. You can see all the milestones and issues that we tackle, and there is a wiki. And I'm a little bit, I mean, this is the last time that I will show these slides, because actually this slide was shown to acknowledge the support of European project. This is the first time that I show it as coordinator of the project, because actually it's important, and I'm available for questions, and thank you very much for being here.